back to episode 5 of the Over the Shoulder podcast. Today, we're going to go over the NWA titles, the current ones. And of course, I have my co hosts, Rob and Mike. So, Rob, would you like to say something? Introduce yourself?
Yeah, no, really happy to be back here, Max. Going over such prestigious titles with the two of you. Happy to be back on doing the Over the Shoulder podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we do this every week. We love the support. We hope that you guys can check out this great episode. So definitely happy to be here.
Yeah, Rob, I definitely have to agree with you. It's a pleasure to be back with you guys. Love doing the show. It's a lot of fun. I think this one's going to be a very interesting episode because we're going to be looking at most of the NWA championships. And as you can see already, to the far left, I guess, of the screen, it would be that unbelievable layout that Max has of those 3 championship belts to look at right there. I think this is going to be a very interesting episode. Max, Rob, and myself do not own an NWA championship at the moment. However, we would like to consider ourselves pretty respectable and informative within the belt community. So I think this will be a very interesting episode. It's a bit of a challenge again because all 3 of us really don't own any of these belts, so this will be a unique episode. But I think as our show continues to grow, our lifeline always starts out with Belt Addicts Anonymous, the #1 Facebook group in all of Canada and, in my opinion, the U.S. A lot of great people there. And, maybe, I'm going to have to save anything controversial about any other belt groups right now. I was told by Max, our producer over here, to keep that at a minimum. But it's still Mike Morano meets the world as well. And I still got a lot planned. But in the meantime, let's focus on the NWA Championship title, shall we?
Yeah, we'll stay a little tame for tonight. So, starting off, we'll just get straight into it with the current NWA National Championship. What do you guys think? As you can see, it's not a traditional leather cut or a traditional belt at all. It's very different. You can see it has 5 plates. The main plate is just the shape of the United States. There's the 2 eagles on each side and the NWA property plates on each side. And of course, the red croc on the front and the special cut. What do you guys think?
I have a lot of opinions on this belt. As you can see over my shoulder, it's not like the traditional belt that I own myself. With respect to the plates, yeah, they look okay. I have to be honest, I find it kind of sloppy, the way that they're just kind of pasting the belts on. The size of the strap is really small. The red croc is kind of cool. However, I still think that a red croc belongs on the back of a belt, not on the front of the belt. It feels like it's all over the place. It's almost like a kid were to do like some sort of like a collage with a glue stick and just putting it onto the belt. So I could keep going on and on. Like I said, before we came on this episode, I said I have a lot of opinions on this belt. I have seen it in people's collections. Some of them, not a fan. You'll never see that in my collection.
And Mike, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, after Rob took a big shit on this belt, I guess I'm gonna have to wipe it off. What I'll say right now is this: it almost reminds me of an old school boxing title, like going back many, many moons ago. A boxing championship, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's very unique. I mean, we certainly don't see any belts like this right now. Whether it's in AEW or WWE, we know they're not producing anything creative belt-wise, so unless it has their big logo on it. So, to see something like this, no, it's not conventional. There's a lot going on, especially with that main plate. You got the flag, you got the eagle, you got a couple guys, they're grappling, they're grabbing each other's ass. But what I will say is this. I mean, listen, is it the greatest title? No. But you know what? It is certainly a very unique title. And if I ever came across it for a decent price from, one of the trusted belt collectors that Max or Rob know very well, hey, if the price is right, that would be an interesting title to add to the collection. Max, what do you have to say about this belt?
Now I know Rob hates this title. Mike is not as bad, but honestly, I think it's not bad. I mean, I will agree with Rob. It does look sloppy, um, but it looks pretty cool. I mean, the main plate, it looks like there's like goats on there. I don't know if you can see in between like the floral
Yeah,
pattern.
that's like,
It's like these
yeah.
two like barn animals. I have no idea
Why
what that
not?
is.
Why not?
But
You
I
know,
hate that part. But like,
and we're not talking about the barn animals that are on belts of the no. Never mind. The point that I'm trying to say
Yeah.
is this: we're trying to get views. We're live, okay? It's. I just noticed the goats. That's actually pretty funny. Go ahead,
yeah,
Max. I'm sorry.
that part just throws me off. I mean, it's very unique for sure. You don't see a belt. The only belt I could almost compare, like with the leather, is maybe the North American. But even then, the North American is classy. You know, I love the North American. It's a nice, classic, wide cut. And this one, I, I don't know. I like the red. I like the croc backing. I will admit, I like that. It's very unique. I've never seen it. I've always
Unique.
seen the back. Um, the plates, I'd say if they were more like traditional plates, it would look pretty good. I don't know. It just feels really weird. I feel like holding it would look weird. Holding it up, putting it on your waist, it just seems a little weird to me. But
Oh, yeah. And I mean, gentlemen, like, look at that belt and look at my wall. Does that belong there? This belt wouldn't go in my collection at all.
It might not go on the wall, Rob, but I mean, it can go over your shoulder. It can
But
go on the ceiling. According to you, it can go in your fucking trash. Maybe we could do something like that. I don't know.
the trash is right over there. That's exactly what it will do. So it will go in the fucking trash.
I mean, if you look at a better picture of it, that one looks like it has a bit of a wider cut.
That's a better
So,
photo.
so I think it looks better there.
That is a better photo. The plates look a lot better in that one. I find.
Yeah, I think maybe if it had a bit of paint, it would look a bit better. It only has like that black paint on the eagle and the property plates. I think if the main plate had a bit of color, maybe on the stars or the eagle or even lettering, because you can barely tell it says national champion. But
now that the show's been going off the rails in the last week, I figure why not ask Lily what she thinks of the belt? I think she likes it. So we'll continue to do that. Moving on. Let's do it.
yeah, let's move on from this interesting belt.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now here are the NWA World Tag Team titles. First, let me just say I think they're great. You know, they're 7-platers, which is very unique. Most belts are 5-platers, or WWE has 3-platers, which I hate. But 7-platers, I think it works for this belt because the side plates are so small. I think if it had like only 4, 2 on each side, it would look a little off. But I think it goes really well with the belt. You can see it's more of a classic look, especially the main plate. Almost reminds me of I think it's the Buckland belt.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Did the Blackjacks have? I think did the Blackjacks hold these? I mean, that's
honestly, I have no idea. I don't watch NWA.
Let me do the fact. Let me do some fact checks here.
So these are
I remember those belts distinctively.
Mm-hmm. So these are the current ones. I believe they're based on some old version of them. As you can see, it has the plates. It says, I can't read too well. It says Canada, Italy, India, and that's all you can read.
Arabia, England.
Yeah.
It looks like, and I agree with you, Max. I like this a lot better. It does remind me of the Backlund belt with that main plate protruding out like that. The cut around the leather is really nice as well. I really think it's cool. The fact that it is a 7-plater, not a lot of space between the plates, but it is a unique, not like that other piece of shit that we were looking at just recently. This one is actually a lot better, and I can tell by the guy on the left-hand side of your screen that's Belts by Dan, who I guess made this. But anyways, it's a great belt. This is a lot better.
Yeah, and before Mike talks, let me just say one more thing. I have to agree, the leather, I love the leather cut. Going around the plates, I think that looks great. And the plates, I just noticed they don't look perfect. They're not perfectly straight, which I love. It looks like it is almost like clay, like molded, which I really like. It looks really cool. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys ever picked up prescription medication and then they give you the generic version because it's cheaper. Yeah, well, listen.
I fucking hate that, Mike.
Yeah. Because you know what? I'm sick of this shit. I'm just gonna be honest.
Right. Yeah.
These look pretty generic. I mean, you want to talk about what a kid made with the other belt? I mean, look,
Yeah.
it's definitely unique. I would love a 7-plate belt. Don't get me wrong. I think that's pretty awesome. I see Arabia, Canada on there. We got everybody. Italy. I'm Italian. I'm an Italian American myself. I'm looking at it. The main plate is. I mean, you're definitely gonna know that in the crowd. Like if you ever see this belt in a crowd, it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb or like a pain in the ass. Because that eagle looks like it could go straight up somebody's ass. Maybe somebody from Belts of the North. But the point that I'm trying to make right now, well, hold on a minute. The point that I'm trying to make right now is this. These are as generic as they come. I can't stand them. They're ugly. Not like the dual plated world tag belts that you have or I have or whatever from the classic WWF version. I hate to say it, but come on. With these belts, in my opinion, when I look at tag team wrestling, you definitely want belts that are uniform, belts that are together, and belts that go together when you see each wrestler side by side holding them or around their waist. To me, it's just generic. It's just these are the titles, but here are the champions. It doesn't give that distinctive vibe where you look at this and say, I must own this belt. As a matter of fact, I must not look at this belt any longer. Please move on.
I can actually, yeah.
I'll have you stop for a little second more. Sorry, Rob. Like you were saying, this doesn't scream tag team to me at all. Generic maybe, but I do like the nugget texturing. I mean, it's well made. That Belts by Dan, as much as some people don't like him, I respect him for what he is. And a belt maker, he's a great belt maker. You know, he made the IWGP V5. I know some people hate that belt. I kind of love it, but it's well made. You can see the nugget texturing behind the plates. I think it looks really good.
He also made the new replica for AEW, right? That I ordered.
Yeah, he helped make that. So it's a close-up picture, but you can see how much the eagle protrudes.
Yeah, we'll give him his credit.
It looks so good, and you can see the little two jewels. I think it would work with a bit of color, not too much.
Yeah, and I mean the tag teams. I mean, I got an insane tag team collection, as we were talking in the prior episode. I mean, those tag teams. You know, you definitely know which wrestler goes with that title. You know, I mean, the history there. I do like the belt. I do. Could it use more paint? Maybe. I don't know, but the plates are really, really nice. And I'm noticing, Mike. Hey, look at that, Canada. Aren't you Canada's favorite son?
Well, you know, the more I think about it. As a matter of fact, I am Canada's favorite son. Because let's be honest, I'm taking Canada by storm. I just looked at the analytics last night, and a bunch of jerk-offs from Canada continue to watch my videos on Mike Morano Meets the World. But that's not what we're here for. So let me talk to you, and let me explain it to you like this. These tag team titles are a piece of shit, just like some other pieces of shit that I know. In the meantime, let's move on.
All right, let's move on before Mike gets repeated.
We'll move on.
Now, here's a belt that, if you hate on this belt,
finally, you found the title match.
There we go. Okay. Here's the NWA World Television title. Now, this is the black strap version with the red backing, and I do have the other versions next. So, what do you guys think of the black strap?
I like this belt. I've always been a fan of this belt. I've seen it unboxed. I mean, not the officials. I've seen makers, you know, but they're really, really cool. This belt is definitely one of my favorites. I mean, I'm not an NWA fan. I'm not, but I like the side plates. I like, you know, I mean, look at that. I mean, ABC, it's got ABC on it. Like, it's absolutely cool. Main plate is nice. The cut on the leather on the main plate is nice. The leather all the way around, it looks great. I'm a big fan. I like this version. I do. Black is a very nice color too. Goes well.
Yeah, I think the black strap goes really well, especially with the red backing. Well. It accents the paint. I think we'll get into the red strap a little later, but this one is definitely one of my favorites, second place. So, Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, the black strap goes great with it. Not that I'm going to compare it to when Darby Allin was holding the TNT title for AEW, but like the black strap helps accentuate the red and obviously like the blue on the side plates if we're getting into brass tacks here. Love the television network logos. I think that's pretty unique. Besides the big TNT that's on the front of the TNT title, by the way, they're moving to TBS. I don't quite I don't quite ever see like a belt like this. Like I go back to the days of when I started watching wrestling, and I also remember the WCW television title. I remember, and I really liked that belt. But looking at this, I don't know if this screams Horseman to me. I don't know if Tully held this. I forget, but this belt is absolutely gorgeous, and the black strap I do like, and I can't wait to get into the other straps that you might have to show us.
Yeah.
So one thing before we do that, I do say like the, I guess, style of the plates, like the, the main plate and the small side plates. It does remind me of a lot of other belts. It reminds me of the Hogan 85.
Yeah,
Like
I
you guys,
guess, yeah,
so I did
yeah,
pull a picture. I know it's just on my phone, but like, the Hogan 85. It does remind me
yeah.
of that, or the NWA,
Uh,
the classic NWA National Championship. So a few belts were based like around this like general design. I'm not sure which came first. I don't know, but I think it's pretty nice. The etching looks great. As you said, the black strap really does make the red pop. Um, yeah.
I just want to add in, I was correct for those of you morons over there in Canada, or oh, excuse me, wherever you guys are around the world, because there's only two Canadians, well, three. I respect Rob's wife as well. She helped set up that amazing wall. So I only really respect, well, four. I love Bret Hart.
Mm.
Uh, Always loved Owen. There's quite a few Canadians I do still love. I do still love some Canadians, but what I do want to say is real quick, just a fact check. Yes, I was correct. Once again, I was correct. Can you imagine that? Can anybody out there watching this imagine that and can't stand my face? Tully Blanchard was a former NWA TV
Mhm.
champion. So if anybody in any other Facebook groups that are not Belt Addicts Anonymous is questioning me right now, you can kiss my ass. Let's go.
All right, let's get to a different strap. Now, this is the current version. It is the white strap. I love this version. This is my favorite version by far. White strap, black strap, red strap. The white strap, I love it. This is a new version that just came out. I think it looks wonderful. It's a nice fresh change because I'm so used to seeing the black strap, and especially the red strap is so overdone. I've seen it so many times. I'm just sick of it. The white strap, I love. I love this white strap. It accents the plates. It looks really good. I love like white strap belts with the silver plates. I think it looks wonderful.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And it's almost like, like when we were discussing Intercontinental Championships, I love the white strap. I mean, this strap is, the white and red is absolutely amazing. It really, really is. That red just goes so well with that white strap. A very, very nice title. A very nice, slick
And
title.
one thing about the leather is, as you can see, that it has the red backing, which again looks wonderful. Mike, what do you think about the white strap?
Yeah, I think if I bought this title, it'd be equivalent to buying the Up, Up, Down, Down title from the New Day. I absolutely, you know what, in all seriousness, the white strap does make the colors pop. I'm looking at it more right now. At first glance, I didn't love it. Now I see a ring. I see the ring on the bottom there under champion. I see how everything looks with its silver plated. I'm always a fan of saying, hey, who's going to win the gold? Not who's going to win the silver, not who's going to win the bronze, not who's going to, sleep with everybody's sister from Belts of the North. I'm looking at something. Well, what do you want me to tell you? You want views? So at the end of the day, you know, I like the belt, Max. I like the belt. You know what else I like, Max? I like the side plate that I see there, but you say this is a current title, so Max, you would know more about this than I would, so I'll ask you in all seriousness. Does that say CBS? And if so, how would NWA Power have the rights to put that on their current championship? I'm confused.
I don't think it's NWA that has the power. It's the belt maker. So the design.
Okay.
You know who owns the design? I believe.
But
I don't
Max,
know
that's
honestly. I don't know who.
interesting.
It's just like
Okay.
the belt maker owns the design.
But
So
so okay, it might own the design, but it's interesting because I'm sure this is still. I remember when they first started out again with Power a couple of years ago when I was watching on YouTube before the pandemic, and then I fell off a bit. But I imagine people watch NWA Power, and I imagine they see this belt, and there you go. You see the CBS. And yeah, it's to me, it's interesting.
Well, yeah, I think it would make more sense if you have like the YouTube or something. But I think
Yeah,
the
yeah,
reason they don't
yeah.
change it is because they want to stick to the classic design,
I
which
love it.
I understand. At the same time, it's like this is the classic design, was always used, has all the history, so I get why they don't want to remove it. So,
Yeah.
but I understand what you mean. So
Yeah, it
sorry,
is.
sorry.
Sorry, it is a really, really cool thing. Sorry, on the side plate, you're going for definitely, sorry, an American look. You got the blue, you got the red, and then you got the white strap. So, I mean, it is a really, it's really a cool color contrast between the three colors. Definitely on the side plates, I'm really finding. So, a fan. I'm a fan.
As was Mike was saying, he would prefer like gold. I think this design in gold would look a little weird. I don't think it would work.
No.
Like I agree with you. I prefer gold belts most of the time, but I think this design, I think it's good in silver. I'm not sure.
Max, what
Maybe
about a
it'll look
gold
good in gold.
eagle? What about a gold eagle instead? Like dual plated on the score. What about just like a gold eagle?
Now you're talking like a dual plated. That would look pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like the
like
ring
just
gold
the
or like the
eagle
floral.
gold, like that big
Oh,
eagle right there, gold.
I think it would look a little off. I think if it was like the eagle and then the ring and then like the little
Okay,
cameras and the
that's
floral,
fine.
I
Yeah,
think that would look cool.
that's fine.
But yeah, I think it's a good idea. So now it's on to my least favorite version. I am so sick of this version. I see it everywhere. Everyone has this version. It's
I,
the red strap.
I,
I, you
yeah.
know, I love the black. I love the white. The red strap. Maybe it's because I've seen it so many times, and I'm just so sick of it. It it makes like the red paint not stand out like on the black and the white. It pops. On this, it just blends into it. It doesn't look as good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm just so sick of this belt, the red version. What do you guys think?
I agree, Max. Because you got red on the main plate and then you got red on the strap, it's going to take away from the main plate. I find a shout out to a guy who unboxed this. Not a fan of the maker. I'm not going to mention him because I'm not a fan of the maker, but he did unbox it. That is WWE Fan Talk Show.
Oh, you mean wait a minute. You mean that fat kid that somehow has all the hold on a minute. Now you're talking. Now hold on a minute, Rob. We'll give you your moment, but you mean that overweight, overhyped, fake wrestling fan that just became famous off YouTube that doesn't know as much as Mike Morano, that isn't as cool as Mike Morano. Sure, he knows how to edit those videos and pretend he's somebody. But when we're getting down to brass tacks, there's only one person who is somebody, and that's me. Please finish, Rob.
No, it's all good, but he did unbox this, and again, the maker is not worth to be mentioned because the guy that the maker who has been on the scammers list, so we will not mention him. However, when he did unbox this, I did like it, I did, but I got to be honest, seeing those other versions like the black and the white, this is the least favorite, is because of the fact the red, there's too much red on it. It blends all the way through. Sorry.
Rob,
No, I agree.
it's okay. Don't be sorry.
I
Let
thought
me
you were
say
gonna be
something.
tame today, Mike. You're
Well,
off the
You know
leash
I
tonight.
am.
you're off the leash,
I was
man.
about to I was about to get into the belt. Let me get into the belt. This belt is so red that if you wear it, you might get mistaken for being in the blood gang. So I'd be careful with it and let's move along. It sucks.
I agree. You know, I first let me just say one thing. People who like this belt, I have no problem with it. I used to like it, but I've just seen it so much. I'm sick of it. Moving on to the next ones. It is the women's title, the world women's title, and you can see the detailed picture there again by Belts by Dan. I believe he made all of the current ones except the NWA world title. Yeah, I really like the design. As you can see, it's more of a, like all the belts, a more classic look, old school. Like you said, Mike, boxing almost has a picture there. You can interchange the picture. I think that's really cool. Um, uh, just the red jewels look really nice. Again, silver. I would prefer it was like, if it was like dual plated. I think it would look cooler. Like if the 1948 and the floral were all gold, I think that would look really nice, make it more prestigious. Because I mean, it's the women's title. It should be the top of their division, right? It should be
Yeah.
on par. I know it isn't, but it should be on par with the world title, right? And this one's silver. That doesn't make sense for me. I mean, it makes sense if it's a mid card title or maybe the tag. Even the tags shouldn't be silver, but for the women's world title, I believe it should be at least dual plated or gold. You know, it's the top of the division. But what do you guys think, Rob?
Yeah, I agree. I like the stones. The stones are nice. The fact that you have a white strap, and then you've got the silver, I think that's too much. Like, I mean, color differential should have been a little bit better, and I agree with you. Gold, a little bit of gold to add to the belt. The picture is cool. To have the picture and the year above it is really cool. I mean, there's not much else. I mean, when I see this belt, do I really see it as a women's title? I don't think so. I don't know. It's kind of iffy. I own a few women's titles. Those are WWE, but this one's unique. It is unique. It is. But
I mean, speaking of the women's titles, I mean, the big WWE logo doesn't really scream women's titles either.
No,
But, you know, I mean,
you're right.
yeah, Mike. What do you?
Well, it's on par with the main championships for the men because it's just different colors, straps and other color, behind the W. But if you don't mind me interrupting there, Rob, what I will say is a little fun fact here that I'm sure you guys know of, your belt aficionados. That Hogan picture belt back in '86, they almost made something like that. What I will say about this title is it reminds me of something. Yeah, it does. Hold on, let me look here. Yeah, okay. What it reminds me of is like if you finished in second place in fantasy football. That's American football for all you Canadians. Real football. I would, the NFL, So I would say if you finished in second place in your fantasy football league, you deserve a championship like this. That's my opinion on this belt. I think this belt sucks.
What do you not like about it? The silver or
the photo of it makes it look cheap, honestly. And the silver and everything like that, it does not look like a women's title. It doesn't.
No.
And I remember seeing when Thunder Rosa had it on AEW a while back, and I know now the champion is Serena Deeb, with her hair. She didn't get her head shaved by CM Punk again. But what I do know about this title is it just looks a little flimsy. It doesn't really scream women's championship. And I agree with Max in all fairness. Whoa. It should be on par with the NWA World title, especially now with the times. So I'm not the biggest fan of it, and I wouldn't buy it. And depending on whose photo is on the belt, what some people from Belts of the North probably dream of doing is using some of their – well, let me explain, please. Using some of their least amount of masculinity that they might have left and pouring it onto the face of this championship. I'm sure they'd like to do that. Moving on.
Well, so one thing, since you went to this VMAX, the main plate is cool, but those side plates, I don't know, just the way that the cut is, like the side plates are really, really close to like the.
It's like a toy, Rob. Tell it like it is. It looks like a damn toy.
I'm trying to beat around the bush here. Well, not really. I don't think they belong. I really don't. Like the side plates are just weird. I mean, from this angle, it's just
I definitely agree.
They're like
yeah, it doesn't because the main plate has so much details, so many things in it, which I like, and the side plates are just NWA
basic
on a flat plate, and it's like, come on, you could have added a lot more, and the spacing is a little weird. The leather looks nice. I mean, Dan's leather is really good, but it just looks weird. I don't know. The side plates just. I wish if those were the outer side plates and there was two side plates in the middle, I think that would look a lot better. Because I don't like three platers, especially when they're spaced out like this so weirdly. The main plate, I really enjoy. It looks really detailed. I love it. I know Mike doesn't like it, but the side plates, I hate.
No, I want to say this also, since you want to spend forever on this belt, Max. What I will say about it is this. It almost looks like this is a better idea than when they would put missing children on the side of a milk carton. What they should do is when you go into a supermarket or a Target or whatever you guys have over there north of the border, they should give out this belt and print the face of the missing child. I mean, this belt sucks. Moving up, please. Moving on.
All right.
Moving
One thing
on.
I do want to say before we move on, I think it would be a better idea. I know it. I like how it's unique, and WWE just does it, repeats the same thing. I think it would look really cool if they got like the NWA World Title design and change it up. Maybe put on a white strap, change it up, almost similar to the Junior Championship that was used a long time ago.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Like
cool.
this is, based on the NWA Dome Globe. I think if they did that, it will look a lot better, look more prestigious. But let's move on from this belt.
That's cool.
I like that idea. Okay. Oh,
The
there it is.
NWA World's Heavyweight Championship.
We have arrived.
Finally, I gotta say, like, I love this belt. I know some people think it looks like a sloth. I've heard a lot of people say that, like the two grommets, sorry, the two gem holders, like the eyes. I don't know. Heard people say that. I love it. I think it's so prestigious. The history behind it, of course, just adds so much to it. It has 5 plates. Sorry, yeah, 5 plates. Of course, the grommets look really good, and this is the Nick Aldis version, so it's the bigger grommet and the different leather cut.
Yeah.
Rob, what do you think about this?
I like it. I really do. I have been a fan of this belt. I mean, it doesn't go in my collection, but I'm still a fan of this belt. It's just got history behind it, of who has held this title. A few people that I am going to shout out here because I know that they currently do have this belt in their collection is one of our admins, Alex Atley. He does have a Figures Inc. One in our collection, in his collection, and also Colin Sove, who has a real one as well. He's got a real belt.
Do you know who made it? Leather Rebels or?
I'm not sure. J Mar.
Well, still.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But he does have one in his collection. I am a big fan. And it's, with respect to the design, if I were to talk about design here, it's not like an over-the-top design here. It's a basic design, which really, really looks good. It really does. I love that. I love having all the countries there. I love that globe. I love the way that the writing is on top with the World Heavyweight Champion. US is on the main plate there. I do like this belt. It probably won't be in my collection, but I am still a fan of it.
Mike, what do you think about this one?
I mean, so much history with this championship. You go back to Ric Flair. You go back to Luther Edge. You can go back to the first NWA champion. I don't know if he held this exact version of the title, but Orville Brown, whatever. But what I will say is this. I mean, this championship is so classy. It just reminds you of a championship. The only thing I don't like about the title that's not in this photograph right now is it has a plate, another side plate. That's right. Another side plate with Canada. Yeah, well, hold on a minute, guys. Let me explain why. Everybody's all up in arms. I'm sorry, guys. You thought I was going one way and went another.
I thought you were going to be tame for this when you started off, and I was like, okay.
I think
the
viewers, yeah, I think the viewers want to see and hear this, Max. All right. So what I want to say is this: the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship is a beautiful title. It is a great representation of a great champion. Obviously, Nick Aldis still can't wrestle. He is married to Mickie James, so I guess he's doing something much better than I am in life. With that being said, I feel as though the NWA World title is a classy title, but it will always be looked at for champions like Ric Flair, Harley Race, guys like that. In my opinion, Nick Aldis, it turns my stomach when you mention him in this title in the same breath. I don't care about the current product with that NWA is putting out there, and I apologize to others, who might watch our videos. But for me to judge this title, sure, I wish WWE would have something similar like this instead of these toy belts that they produce. But yeah, it's a classy title, and honestly, it's definitely, you can make the argument it's a top 5 championship ever made just because of how prestigious it is. I mean, you can make that argument if you want. It's definitely in my top 10, and pretty high up in my top 10. I'd range it, within 6, 7, or 8 or something like that. So I love the belt, Max. I think it's a great belt. I just wish it didn't have that stupid Canada side plate.
Yeah, like you said, the history behind this belt, that's what makes it to me. I just, when I see this belt, it reminds me of, the picture of Dusty Rhodes, all bloody, just
Yeah,
sitting down with
that's
a penny.
yeah. Great
Like,
point. Great point. Yeah.
and, I love the design, the history behind it. You got to respect this title, You can't, I know some people hate it. I like it.
Really?
So,
I've
yeah,
always come across
I've seen
people who
some
have respect
people,
for it.
hate it. Some people saying that it looks like a sloth or whatever, but here's a Leather Rebels version that they made.
Wow,
It is without the grommets and a thinner leather cut.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's
what do you guys
nice.
think about this version? It wasn't ever used, but Leather Rebels did make it.
That is definitely a thinner leather cut. That globe, I don't know, from this angle, it looks like it's like pushed in like a schnoz. But I do.
I just noticed that it looks flat. It's not
Yeah,
dome.
it looks really flat. With respect to, I mean, maybe
0 millimeter.
yeah. No, sorry, maybe just the picture here, but I mean, it kind of looks a little bit more rustic. I don't know, just with respect to, some of the side plates. Again, there's my favorite side plate, Mike. Canada is right there. But with respect to the cut and everything, I do like the version. It's more, I don't know, it's more fine. It's more just
Very
there.
modern, I think. It's a modern twist. But I do miss the grommets. I like the grommets very much. I love the grommets on the NXT title, the North American. It's missing the grommets. It looks a little off to me. If it had the grommets, I think it would look really cool with a thinner cut. I never liked the wide, like the huge leather cut that it has. It looks like,
Yeah.
And this one doesn't have the leather lacing. If you notice, the previous one has like the lacing going around the edge, the border of the leather. This one is just some clamshell tooling, which
Yeah.
The tooling.
I think this one's nice. I just don't like how the globe is like pushed in.
yeah, the flat globe
Definitely
looks weird.
the cut that you had mentioned, the leather cut. Yeah, and the previous frame is much better. The other title's much better in my opinion. I wouldn't ever really. This isn't like this version of this belt. Now I can make an argument that I would purchase the previous version that we were looking at. I would actually like to own that one day. I really would, but no, I wouldn't go out of my way to buy this one.
Yeah, I just found the picture and I thought I'd add it to see what you guys think about it. But let's move on, like you said, move on to replicas. So the NWA only made the NWA Dome Globe as an official replica. The television, the women's, the tag, the national, all those titles weren't made, just the Dome Globe. So of course, it's the Figures Inc. It isn't sold anymore, so I've kept the prices unknown. You will have to buy it resell on the Facebook groups or eBay, but be careful.
Well, what's the best place to try, Max? Wouldn't it
I'd
be
say
Belt Addicts
Belt
Anonymous?
Addicts Anonymous.
Yeah, I
all
figured.
all the belts you buy there are 100% authentic. We don't allow bootlegs to be sold in there. But yeah, the plates there are 4 millimeter thick, simulated gold plating with a nice dome. Simulated leather strap, but it does have lacing, which I think looks really cool. If you're going to display it, I think you don't need to get it re-leathered if you're displaying it because it has the nice lacing going around, which looks really nice. Wait time, of course, unknown. Depends how long it takes to ship.
Yeah.
But Rob, I know you're the expert for Figures Inc. So how much do you think one of these would go?
Well, and you see another fellow in. So Alex was asking me about this, and I've seen them go for like 6 to about 700 US. Sometimes it goes higher than that, just because it is a Figures Inc. And of course, yeah, US dollars. And again, and I am going to reiterate, to repeat what Max has said. If you do want to try to buy this belt, come to the best Facebook group that there is in Canada and worldwide, Belt Addicts Anonymous, and we'll be glad to help you out, or at least steer you in the right direction.
Yeah, like I said, every Tuesday we have the Title Tuesday post, so you can check on there or even ask around. You feel safe because on eBay, some people can scam, and it's just a hassle. Like, say you buy this and you get like a horrible bootleg, and then going through the refund and shipping it back out. It's a process. Just go on to Belt Addicts Anonymous, and we can help you out.
Well,
Mike, what do you think about the Figures Inc. replica?
Yeah, I wish I had it. I mean, this is definitely really cool. Any Figures Inc. belt is pretty rare nowadays, if you ask Rob, and if you ask me as well, I think it is. On top of that, I love that dome globe, man. I mean, it's a beautiful belt to own. It's classy. Unlike some other belts that we saw throughout this slide, I think this belt can go with any collection. I really do. I mean, even if you started out as like the first belt that you would put on the wall or like whatever you would do, I think there's always room for a belt like this. A belt like this would probably, the way it's like sitting right there, just like the way it is like folded, probably with the straps on and stuff. This is a nice belt to display like that in like a glass case, just like sitting down, in my opinion. Not one that I necessarily hang up, but I definitely think it's a beautiful replica belt.
Yeah, and Rob, I know you were mentioning some previous belts you wouldn't add to your collection. If you had the chance to buy the Figures Inc., I know you're a fan of Figures Inc., would you buy it?
Yes.
Say someone offered it, like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I would. And I mean, just because I'm a figures Inc. collector, I mean, and, slash shop belts, but more figures Inc. And you're right, Mike. I mean, I've never, like, all my belts are WWE, they're not NWA, but
Yeah.
this is a classic title. Would I see this going on the wall? Maybe not on the wall. I do agree with you. Maybe in a glass case. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe I would get the opportunity to have Ric Flair sign the thing, and then if I got Ric Flair to sign the thing, then it would go in a case. Even go in a case before, who knows? But this is probably the one thing or the one belt that I would kind of like, okay, you know what? I have WWE belts. I don't have this belt. I would kind of go with this belt. Like, I could find a place in my collection. So I think it actually kind of would go.
Now, the only gripe I have with it, and I don't know if you guys noticed, where the gems are supposed to be, it's not gems. It's like metal.
Now
That's the one thing. Now, I believe it's based on an older version, so it might be accurate. I'm not 100% sure, so, but
yeah. And
that's the one thing that keeps me from wanting it,
There is one thing, sorry, and when you just said that, it kind of looks like a face. Like, it's got the two eyes and the flipping schnoz. Sorry,
You see the sloth now.
I'm sorry. But I would still add it.
I mean, yeah, if it was for the right price, I definitely would. But there's just like, I prefer for bigger grommets, like the Nick Aldis version, my favorite version, like the big grommets, the gems. The metal just looks, I don't know, looks a little weird to me. But one that does have the gems is the Premier version. So the Premier Dome Globe. This one does have the gems, but the belt isn't the best. I mean, it is 4mm. Of course, they don't sell it anymore, so price is, unknown. You resell. They're 4mm simulated gold plating, simulated leather strap, but it has tooling and it doesn't have the lacing going around the edge, which I think just looks so weird. Like, it doesn't have the lacing. Like, the Figures Inc. has a nice lacing going around. This just has like the tooling, which I think is just so lazy of them to do that. And yeah, they don't sell it anymore, so you'd have to go either maybe AJS belts.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, Max, John Barbarossa, great guy. Shout out to you, John. You got a great company. I've done a little bit of business with him. He does sell this belt. He does have it on his website. He can get this belt. I'm not a fan of this version. I don't like the Premier version. I'm with you. The tooling around, I'd rather have the lacing around. And of course, for me to say, oh, I have a Premier belt when I could have a Figures Inc. belt, what am I trying to get at, right? I would go with the Figures Inc. I haven't been a fan of this version at all.
Now, one more thing before Mike goes on his little ramble. I'm just kidding. One thing I gotta say is the quality on the Figures Inc. I know they are rare, but the quality is great. You can tell by the wrestlers in the previous version. You can actually see the wrestlers.
Yes.
If you try and look at the wrestlers, it's just like lines. You can't even tell it's wrestlers. It's just like a little, I don't know, it's like scribble, which I think it looks bad. I mean, I would never buy this version, even if it was someone offered to me for a cheap price. I wouldn't get this. I'd rather get like a Figures Inc., like you said before, or even a bootleg. But yeah, Mike, floor is yours.
Yeah, I know. Well, let me try not to ramble. The Figures Inc. belt is a lot better than this one. This one looks like the center plate looks like, and even like some of the side plates of like Mexico and Australia that I could see, it just looks like it was like made cheap in a way. No offense to whoever made this, whoever. But I'm all with Rob on this, and especially with Max. I would definitely go Figures Inc. I don't care about the metal things that you guys are mentioning or whatever, that does not take away the fact that you get that official Figures Inc. stamp on the back of that belt. It's official. At least you know you have an official rare belt. To me, the only thing rare about this belt, well, to be quite honest with you, there's nothing rare about this belt at all. Moving on.
I mean, it is official. That's one thing I gotta say. It is official, but
It's premier.
Official to who?
No, it was officially licensed by the NWA.
Yeah,
I don't
but
give a shit. I think the Figs Inc. belt is nicer, and to me, I'm taking away the NWA stamp of approval on this championship, and the National Wrestling Alliance can kiss my ass. Go ahead.
No, I second that. So if you don't want to go through the hassle of trying to find one, or if you just don't want to pay that much, because not everyone can pay $700 for a belt, you can also go overseas. Now, it did choose MS belts or Muhammad Asif. Now, this one is a CNC Muhammad Asif or
How's
MS
he doing?
belt.
How is he doing lately? How's he been?
No idea.
We'll
but
give him my best now that we're giving him free promotion for absolutely no reason. Go ahead.
no, he does make a good belt though. This is a CNC belt for 450 USD. If you know, CNC is a lot more expensive than acid etched. It's cleaner lines,
Beautiful belt.
more detail.
Beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful.
looks great. It's 4 millimeter zinc, 18 karat gold, which is base. Or if you want, you can upgrade to 24 karat gold if you'd like. The strap
That's a
is
good
real
wait
leather.
time. Not to interrupt. I'm sorry. That's a good
Yeah.
wait time you have.
Yeah, it's only 21 to 30 days.
Yeah, finally, with one of the wait times that you have, that we don't have to tell our viewers that they might have to wait 7 to 8 years for their belt.
Yeah.
Get it within a month.
No, this is quick. You know, Muhammad Asif is very reliable. He does work with Eddie Williams. He's a great guy. Shout out to him. He's a great maker, up and comer maker. He made IWGP V3, which we can hopefully go over in a future video, which looked incredible. Just the detail there looks really good. Of course, it's not on a strap, but you can just see the detail on the plates. So much better than the Premier. Figs Inc., I'd say if you don't have the money for $700 USD, this is a good, not compromise, but I'd say it's a pretty good belt. Rob, what do you think about it?
I agree. I absolutely do. He's a newer maker that has been hitting a lot of the Facebook groups. And again, and I know Mac shouted out to Eddie Williams, but I'm going to do another shout out to Eddie. And you can tell here with two shout outs and like one take, Eddie's an outstanding guy. It's a very, very nice belt. It looks really, really good. CNC, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's better than acid etch. The price is great. The wait time is unheard of compared to some of those other makers. We won't mention those guys in this video, but to have a belt like this and to pay the amount that it is, not bad, and to have the wait time, you can get a belt within a month. Like, that's pretty good made.
Yeah. And one thing I didn't add is a payment. So you go through Eddie Williams or Muhammad Asif, but I'd say go through Eddie because Eddie's a great guy. He's really easy, reliable. I mean, he's a great guy, but you can pay through PayPal. I think you can also do Cash App. If for the US, whichever you prefer, you can pay half down, and then 30 days later you pay the other half. So if you don't have 450 all at once, pay 225 beginning of the month. At the end of the month when you got paid, pay the other 225, and it doesn't hit as hard. That's what I usually do. For when I order belts, I usually pay half and pay the other half later, which is pretty nice. So yeah, I like this belt. It looks really nice. Mike, what do you think about it?
The good thing about our podcast and about the Belt Addicts Anonymous Facebook group is you can find cool belt makers that are trustworthy people that you could deal with and know that you're getting great value. And on top of that, you're getting a great product. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, looking at the photos to the left of me that I'm looking at, this was made in great detail. And for them, in all seriousness, if he's giving you 4mm zinc, you got the 18 karat gold plating. You can also upgrade to that 24 karat, the machine stamped real leather strap. I have to say, to get that belt to you within 30 days is very impressive. I hope to learn more about Muhammad Asif and Eddie that you were mentioning. And obviously, hearing it from you guys, it would make me comfortable making a purchase with them if there was ever a title that I needed, especially something like this. So I highly encourage you guys to listen to Max and Rob when it comes to this stuff. Now, when it comes to other stuff, when it comes down to being brutally honest, I have to say something because I'm a part of this podcast too, and I know I'm in the silent majority, and nobody, everybody's cringing. What's he going to say next? Yeah, let's just say this right now. We've been giving somebody some free publicity in our first 4 episodes. This guy, OMR. First of all, let me just say this: the views and opinions of Mike Morano do not reflect those of Rob Staniloff or Max Rivera. They might easily have different opinions, and that's their business. Well, guess what? Because I'm a part of this podcast to hopefully save this podcast from becoming what we saw with the Titanic, if you ever saw that movie. What I want to see right now, yeah, well, what I want to say right now is this: OMR, I'm calling you out, you little
ORM.
piece of shit. Well,
ORM.
ORM.
Before you make it for yourself.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. I'm not making a fool of myself because it's either ORM, it's OMR. It can't be OMR because OMR was on Steve Austin's vest one more round in his last match when he fought The Rock at WrestleMania 19. But I'm talking about ORM, so I don't want to confuse the two. Thanks so much, Max. And Max, if you really want to get into it and not make a fool of yourself, what the fuck is a starp? I don't know what a starp is. I know what a strap is because I got many straps. But let me say it to you like this. ORM, I'm calling your ass out right here. We give you free publicity. Anything to do with Mike Morano, I'm going to put my name on something, and Max is going to ramble, and he's going to talk about how great you are. You're going to ship out these belts. You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. I don't want you on my channel. I don't want you. I'm not giving you free publicity on this podcast. You scam your customers from what I hear. Hey, pal, listen, let me tell you something. Anybody can make fun of the WWE shop belts all they want. At the end of the day, UPS delivers them right to my door. I don't know where you're delivering this stuff after people is giving you money, but you're a goddamn disgrace. And you're hearing it from me, you little bitch. You stupid son of a bitch. You're hearing it from me. You can kiss my ass, ORM. Hey, ORM, I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell you one last thing. Go fuck yourself.
Now, one thing yeah. I did order a belt in September of 2020. I'm still waiting for it.
Yeah, and you know what? And you know what? And I'm not going to be as harsh with this guy, okay? But Mike is he's pretty much right, okay? RM, we're giving you free publicity here, man, okay? You can't even deliver a belt. Like when someone orders a belt from September 2020, give me a break, dude. I'm starting to agree with Mike, and I don't call a lot of makers disgraces, okay? But you know what? You're getting to be one. You really are. So, Boney up and deliver the fucking belt. Do it, man. Seriously. And there are no excuses here. There really, really aren't here. If this guy, Muhammad Asif, can put up a belt in 21 to 30 days and it takes you over a fucking year to do this, you are a disgrace, my friend.
You're in the wrong profession. That's what I would say. You probably shouldn't be offering belts. As a matter of fact, the only Muhammad that I knew was Muhammad Hassan, and he was Italian, and he got his ass kicked by The Undertaker. Let's move on.
Yeah, sorry, bud.
Now, my opinion, the wait times. If he was just honest, like Classic Shields, they have I'm sure they have thousands of orders. They're honest. I ordered a belt, and he told me, honestly, it's going to be minimum 8 months. And I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. Because he told me, I messaged him. He told me the truth. He's like, you know what? We have lots of orders, which you can see on their Facebook group. They have plenty of orders. So they're honest. Classic Shields, they put out the best quality belts, and they're honest. They tell you 8 months minimum. And you're like, okay, I understand. ORM told me 3 months.
Yeah.
Which...
Come
on. I don't mind waiting, but just tell me the truth. Don't lie to me. Don't run around. Like, I tried messaging him, doesn't respond. Like, I tell him, like, where's the progress? Like 2 months ago, in leather.
And I am going to say one more thing, ORM. Okay, I know a lot of people in the belt hobby. Okay, I've been around for a while. Okay, and I do recommend. I may be a replica collector for licensed replicas, but I do know a lot of other people that do get the non-licensed belts. I'm not referring your ass to anyone. Okay, I'm going to let you know that right now, man. I am not going to refer you at all. I'm going to be referring other people. You are a disgrace.
Well, you might not be able to. I'm sorry, Max, but Rob's not going to refer them. I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to deter them. And ORM, I make one promise. And when I make a promise, you can damn sure know that it's Mike Morano. Morano. And I promise you, ORM, that you are going to single-handedly be put out of business courtesy of Mike Morano from Mike Morano Meets the World. I guarantee it. I'm going to put your shady ass out of business, and that will be the last time we ever hear of you in the belt game. I promise you that.
Now, look, honestly, I don't care if he gets mad at me or cancels my order. At this point, I don't care. I've been waiting so long for a single layer belt. It's not even like an IWGP or an AEW or something that takes long. It's literally a US belt that has no stones, literally just quick paint job, 4mm. It should not take this long. And if it's gonna take you this long, tell me from the beginning. Like, tell me it's gonna take me close to a year waiting for this belt. You know, like, stop lying. And you know, he's probably gonna message me, cancel my order or whatever. I don't care anymore. Like, I've been waiting way too long for this belt, and I should have it by now. I should have had it long.
Anybody from this side of the world, I don't necessarily think it's smart to send that kind of money to. But what I will say is this, ORM, if you forgot what I said, I'll mention it one last time before we move on. I'm putting your ass out of business because I don't like scammers, I don't like schemers, I don't like bullies, and I damn sure don't like an asshole with an acronym like ORM because it's MORANO. Moving on.
ORM, deliver the fucking belt, okay? Stop horsing, motherfucker, okay? Deliver.
Yep. And if you're not going to deliver it, just tell me. Just give me my refund. Because, like, if I'm not going to have it by September, I don't even want it. Like, come on. It's taking way too long. And I've seen people waiting months for in-hand belts. Whatever. Let's move on from this to a reputable maker, Royal Belts. Well, let me say one thing from him. I can't see a single bad thing about Royal Belts. Muhammad Lukman is one of the best guys. I've talked to him personally. He's a good friend. He's honestly an honest guy, really nice. And his quality is improving. Now, his belts, I would say they're pretty good. They're decent for the price, but he is improving. He has CNC belts now, so he can do CNC. His leather's improving. I just got a TNT for my grandpa like a few weeks ago, and it came out really nice. The leather was nice, and my first bootleg, let me show you guys. It's a Calgary belt, but still, it was from Royal Belts, and it's not bad. It's pretty nice, and he's just a great guy.
What belt is that?
Oh, it's a custom belt. It's based off the IWGP US belt, but with Calgary.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
But he's just, he's a great guy. I can't recommend him. If anyone asks me who to recommend for a belt maker, I always go to Royal Belts. Muhammad Lukman. Shout out to him for being honest, telling me the truth, sending me progress pictures. He's a great guy, but he does make the NWA National Championship. I haven't seen many makers make this, but he does a really good job. As you can see the pictures, they look pretty good. I know, Rob, you don't like this belt too much.
No.
The replica is nice. It's 330 USD. The plates are 4mm zinc with 18 karat plating. He does have the 24 karat upgrade available too. Does have the real leather, but you can also upgrade to improved leather, which is nice for like hand tooling, but this one doesn't have tooling, so it doesn't make sense to do it. And the wait time's 2 to 3 months, and he's honest. So
I am going to say another thing about Muhammad Lukman. He is a member of Belt Addicts Anonymous, again, the best Facebook group there is in Canada and worldwide. But I do want to shout out to Muhammad Lukman, and I'll tell you why, is because he just made the Belt Addicts Anonymous custom belt that Alex Atley has shown off and that all of our amends will hopefully eventually get. So a shout out to you, man, brother. Definitely. You are definitely the man. You are absolutely honest, and I know you are. You're a great guy. You're a great individual. You put out great belts, and Max is right. You are getting better. I have no problem referring people over to you, my friend. So definitely.
Yeah. And here's a picture of the belt if you guys want to see.
Nice.
He made that custom belt with the names there and everything. So if you want a custom belt, I'd say go to him. He's so easy because like he was the first overseas maker, and I was worried because I was new to the hobby. I wasn't sure. I wasn't in too many groups. I was only in a specific group that I'm not going to talk about, but I wasn't too sure where to go. And I found his group and I messaged him, and he was so nice. He helped me out through the process to getting a custom belt, and it was very easy. The payment was easy, just through PayPal. Same thing. You can pay initial payment in the beginning, and then pay as you go, which is nice. You don't have to pay $330 all at once. You can do 100, 100, 100, or whatever you want. But yeah, the belt looks really good. You can see the croc front looks really nice. The plating looks good. Paint looks good. Just a solid belt. Mike, what do you think about the belt?
Yeah, well, first off, if Max and Rob are definitely referring this guy big time, obviously that means that he's as legit as they say. I would definitely trust Max and Rob's opinion on Muhammad Lukman. Am I correct? Muhammad Lukman.
That's correct.
I would definitely trust Max and Rob's opinion on him. And I think, from what I understand, and some of the Canadians who are not ass backwards that I've spoke with, they think that Muhammad Lukman is also one of the best members in Belt Addicts Anonymous, and he brings a lot to the table, including that amazing custom that Max showed off on his phone. Hopefully, we can even get a slide for that or make some type of slide for that in the next episode. That way we could show that off, because I think that should be the defining logo, the defining crest. That is an amazing, amazing job he did. But just speaking about the NWA National Championship here by his company, Royal Belts, he takes some amazing photographs. But more than that, it also looks like he takes his time making it, which in this case is not a bad thing, because you could see the tooling and the craftsmanship that goes into making a title this unique, and I gotta respect it. And if I ever wanted to buy a title like this, or if I ever had any questions, I would definitely refer to Max or Rob, especially. And if they're saying Muhammad Lukman and Royal Belts is the place to go for a custom or for something that you're a unique belt that you're looking for, like the NWA National Championship, then I would say go ahead and do it. And, honestly, that's what's great about this podcast, guys, is that you guys have such an outreach in the belt community that I think it helps a lot of other people achieve their goals of getting these belts, belts that we never even dreamed of, and like belts that WWE shop's never going to come out with, regardless of if they own the rights to certain things or not. You see a belt like this, and knowing that you can have it within 2 to 3 months, you can also upgrade if you want. I don't know. I like that. And I would definitely like to do business with a guy like that. And I would definitely trust Max and Rob. And yeah, man, if they're giving you guys the head right there, they're giving you guys the referral, go with it. That's my opinion.
He's a great, especially budget,
Yeah, I
like
agree.
if you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars
No.
with a classic shield, or even 450 is pretty expensive. 330, or even has options for brass or 2mm or 3mm, cheaper
That's
options.
interesting. I like the
Budget
options.
friendly,
I like.
He gives
that
you a
people
lot of
do
options,
this. Yeah, and I think real quick, Max, if I could just touch on that now that we're giving everybody free promotion, I think that the good part about this is you get a lot of options dealing with Muhammad Lukman, it seems like, and if he gives that many options as a customer, just as a consumer, speaking for myself, when you have different kind of options depending on what budget you're dealing with or what price point that you're targeting for a specific belt, I think that can help. And I think just as long as the belt comes out in solid quality, that's really all that matters. And it looks like this guy takes his job very seriously, and big respect to him. So awesome stuff, guys.
He's a great guy, and he does take his time, but it's not ridiculous, which is good, So moving on to the next one, I did pick Classic Shields, which is the best maker in the world. Let me just say that one more time for everyone in the back to hear. He is the best maker. High quality belts, you go to Classic Shields. You don't go to the other maker, you go to Classic Shields. Their prices are expensive, but if you want a high quality belt, you go to Classic Shields. All right. Detail on this is amazing. It is $900 USD, which is not cheap. But if you want as ring accurate as possible, and if you have the money to spend, this is where you go. It is 4.2mm zinc with nickel plating, real hand-tooled leather, and wait time is 9 to 12 months, which takes a while. But they're honest. They're honest and upfront from the beginning. They tell you the truth. They're like, you know what? got a lot of orders this month. It's going to take this long. And I appreciate that. If you don't want to wait that long, you go to someone else. And if it's $900 US, then you're waiting 9 months. You don't have to spend 900 all at once. You can do 900, like 100 each month, and then that's it. You got the belt.
You have
So
it.
you can see the detail there. Looks really well, really clean detail on that. You can see the stars, the grapplers in the ring, the eagle's little claw going over the champion,
The etching.
and the side plates there look great, and the leather, of course. Rob, what do you think about him?
I think he does great work. I mean, he's definitely the best belt maker I've seen. The detail on the plate, the etching, the thickness, like the deepness, and like everything. Just it's wow. Yeah, just amazing detail. Amazing detail. I can see why it's the price that it is. I really can. And unlike the other belt maker that we mentioned in the previous slides, 9 to 12 months, you'll actually get your belt, guys. So there you go. He'll actually deliver this guy. So really, a really good quality here.
Yeah, this is for more of like high-end shoppers. If you're definitely into getting something that, like Max was saying, is as accurate as you might see on television as possible, this would definitely be the belt for you. I did some research myself this past week on Classic Shields. I was just looking at like their Winged Eagle because obviously I'm going to be getting that dual-plated Winged Eagle from WWE Shop. Hopefully sometime in August, whenever they ship it. I don't know. But in the meantime, that is truly, truly some good stuff. And Classic Shields does seem like legit. And even though it could be a long wait time, obviously when you look at the photos, I think it's worth the wait because you're getting as TV accurate as possible. That CBS logo, my God, I love it. I absolutely love this belt in general. And to know that you can own it and it be as accurate as the ones that we've seen former NWA stars hold, I think that's pretty awesome. So let's
And even
move on.
the satellite just looks so nice. You can see the individual like lines. The paint job's great. The shade of paint, the color.
It's
It's
great.
incredible. You can see there, like you can see the individual ring ropes.
I agree.
It just looks crazy. You can even see like little hook for the ring, like
That's
ridiculous quality.
the real
Classic Shields is by far the best. If you're looking for a quality belt, you're doing Classic Shields. So yeah, that is the last one on for today. But what do you guys think about, in general, the NWA titles? Rob, of the current titles, what do you think?
I do like some of them, Max. I really do. Some of them I don't, and you definitely have seen that. But I mean, that Dome Globe, I mean, I really do like. I really like the fact that our podcast had the opportunity to review belts that were not WWE, and we want to give that shout out to our Facebook group, Belt Addicts Anonymous, who voted on this episode. Really, really happy to do this episode. I mean, I myself do not have any NWA titles. I don't. Have I seen a couple that I wouldn't mind owning? Maybe. I do. The fact that I'm able to do this with these fine gentlemen on this channel, it's just an honor to be reviewing these types of belts. Again, didn't have them in my collection. Maybe we'll add maybe the Dome Globe. Who knows? But this was a very unique and special episode, I found. And to go through these titles is definitely a blessing. So I want to thank you guys definitely for this.
Yeah, guys. I mean, this is the Over the Shoulder podcast. And in my opinion, the two championships throughout these slides and throughout this amazing presentation that Max helped put together, by the way, thank you, is the NWA Dome Globe. Obviously, that one especially. And on top of that, the NWA World Television Championship with the black strap. Those two titles, if I were to want to own some NWA titles, those would be the first two. I would go with the Dome Globe one first because of the history behind it. However, if you're asking me what the nicer belt is to me and what I would love to have right now in my hands right now would be that World Television Championship. And thanks to Max promoting Classic Shields and us giving him free promotion for absolutely no reason, we definitely know that Classic Shields is the the place to go if you want a championship like that. So, unbelievable episode, guys. And please, guys, continue to continue other people, good people only with no drama. Join the Facebook group, Belt Addicts Anonymous. I can't say it enough. This Facebook group now almost 1,700 members. And guys, there's no coincidence that the numbers are going up with that Facebook group, as we have started this official over-the-shoulder podcast where we review all the championships. And Max, real quick, the best part about this, if you would agree with me, guys, is that we're going to let the viewers each week choose the topic, just like we did this week. This was viewers' choice. And guess what? Next week's going to be viewers' choice as well. Now, Max has an idea in what championships we might be looking at next week based on the way the trajectory of some of these polls are going. But I think it's important, guys, to get the word out there. And for those of you that have stuck it out with us through the first 5 episodes and have not considered blowing your brains out, I want to thank you, because we're giving everything we have to this show. We love this show and we love doing it. And I hope the people that are really sticking with us take pride in the show and want to help the show out by also getting the word out to other friends and other belt communities that are respectful, that are drama-free, not like the pussies from the north. And I'm hoping, come on, I'm a good guy when I want to be. Just hoping that the word gets out there, and this is a hobby. The best part about collecting belts is what you see right here. 3 guys. I mean, I met 2 guys here from Canada. I'm over here in New Jersey. I'm originally from the Bronx, New York. That's what belt collecting has done, is like you can meet friends. You can talk about the things that you're passionate about. That's all that it's about. And belt collecting is a huge part of that. It brings a lot of communities and a lot of people together, believe it or not. So, guys, we live in some really strange times, and I want to thank you for this podcast. I think it's given me, definitely in all seriousness, real quick, just an opportunity to have fun with it, but to also look back at some of these belts and think back to some of the classic matches, some of the classic wrestlers who have held them, and it brings back some great memories. So the Over the Shoulder podcast is very important to each and every one of us, and I hope our viewers take just as much pride in it as we do making it happen.
Yeah, of course, like Mike touched on, and Rob, of course, if you guys do want to see specific belt or maybe like NXT titles, the current ones, I'm thinking the next one's probably going to be the IWGP version 1 to 5. Seeing how the poll went, that was second place. But if you guys want to choose, join the Facebook group. Link will be in the description, so just click that link, go straight to Facebook. You guys can join, and if you have any options that aren't in the poll, just add an option. You know, if you want to see, like, I don't know, Ring of Honor or AEW or
TNA,
TNA
belts. How about that Jeff Hardy belt?
Exactly. The Immortal belt. I mean, nothing is off limit. You know, anything you guys want, you guys choose. We didn't think we were going to do the NWA this soon, but you guys wanted it. We gave it to you. Anything you guys want. We don't have to own it. You know, it doesn't have to stick to, shop belts.
And I'm sorry, but we don't want to do the Jeff Hardy belt right away because it would bring back bad memories for me, realizing that the WWE booked Jeff Hardy to defeat Karrion Kross in Kross's Raw debut, where I almost hung myself. So with that being said, keep up with what Max is saying. Max, finish it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, definitely. So make sure to join that group. Make sure to vote for any belts you want to see in the next episode, episode 6, and in future episodes. If you want to see a belt and it isn't picked in a specific week, vote the next week. Voting will open on Mondays of every week. So Mondays on the Facebook group, you can vote, choose a belt, and then we'll talk about it in the future episode. So once again, thank you so much to Rob, Mike, for staying up late doing this podcast with me. I'm very happy this is going on. I love this. Like Mike said, it brought us together. I mean, I just used, before I didn't really have anyone to talk about it with. I just, try and talk to my family. They don't care about belts. Now I have these 2 gentlemen to talk about belts every week, which is great. We're going to keep doing this as much as you guys want. So yeah, I'm excited for the next one. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Oh, whoa, wait a minute now. You're about to sign off and say goodbye. Let me just say one last thing. ORM. I'm going to put you out of business for good. Max, you may end episode 5 now.
One thing, though, Max, we should put a belt over our shoulder to sign off here.
Give me 1 second.
Sure. That is one thing. And I got a really cool one, too, to go over the shoulder.
No, I don't get to show off this belt too much. Hopefully in a future episode we can talk about AEW, but I do have my AEW title here.
Beautiful.
Show it off a little.
And maybe we'll get to talk about this one, too.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
Or the one that Mike has over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Universal. We could talk about current WWE titles and see what we think about it. I know at least I have a lot of strong opinions on the current titles.
Yeah. Love Roman. Love him.
All right. So this is episode 5 of the Over the Shoulder podcast. Make sure to tune in to episode 6 next Monday, coming out every Monday. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
ORM, go fuck yourself.